Hey, welcome to Pam's Pep Talks. Today is day 4 of 100, and we are going to be talking about, showing you, because I'm going to do a little cooking demo of how to make cake mix cookies. This is a super easy way that you can have fresh cookies. It's fast, it's easy. I wouldn't say it's healthy, but I do make a little swap that makes it a little bit healthier. But I just think that there's nothing like having fresh homemade cookies right out of the oven. You smell them baking. Maybe you've had the experience with somebody that you love, baking them together. Maybe you're baking them for somebody that you care about, to take them some cookies or to take to an event. Baked goods are near and dear to my heart. I used to have a home baking business, and someday I'll tell you the story of that. But I made lots of different things, and cookies was one of them. And I made cookies from scratch. And so I am well acquainted with cookie making procedure. I learned from my mom first, and then I like to say that I went to the cooking school of the Food Network. That's not a real thing. I mean, the Food Network is a real thing, but they don't have a cooking school. But I learned a lot about cooking by watching the Food Network. And when I was young, married, that was around the time when Alton Brown, who was the host of Good Eats, really got going with that show. And the way that he would teach you about the science of baking and cooking in general, like, it really made me understand like the why we are doing things, and that helped me to know how to do things and to like remember procedures. Like, if I understand why you're doing something and like a method, then it usually goes better for me as far as learning it goes. So anyways, I have made thousands of cookies, just dozens and dozens and dozens. I made many batches every week for several years to take to the farmer's market, among the other things, but that's another story for another day. So, but there is an easier way than to get out the mixer and to cream the butter and the sugar. There is an easier way, and that's to use cake mix. And because in a cake mix, it's several of the same ingredients that you would need to make cookies, and they're already measured out. And so you're just adding a few more things, mix them up in a bowl, pop them in the oven. It's not the same texture, but they're still cookies, and they are still very, very good. So I have also been surprised at how many people have never actually made cookies from scratch, and they're intimidated by the process. Maybe they don't have the right equipment. They feel like they don't have the right equipment. And nobody's ever shown them how. Maybe they tried and it didn't go very well. They had a cookie fail. So that would be discouraging. So I wanted to show you something that is maybe more accessible. No special equipment is needed, just a bowl and a spoon. No special know-how is needed. And it's pretty goof-proof. These are not like physically healthy, like I said, but there's something that is mentally encouraging about making your own cookies and doing it with somebody, smelling them as they're baking, eating them when they're warm. There's just something really special. So let's roll tape and see me making these chocolate chip cake mix cookies. We're gonna make some chocolate chip cookies out of cake mix. So this is a recipe that if you just Google like cake mix cookies, you'll be able to find lots of different recipes for different kinds. This one is an adaptation from the Tasty website. So let's get started. This is from Aldi. we're just going to put all of these ingredients in and mix it up and put it in the oven. Oh, I forgot, we've got to get the oven set to the right temperature. So 350. There we go. And it calls for 2 eggs. I'm mixing these up in a bowl that's a vintage Fire King that had belonged to my husband's grandmother. And instead of oil, we're going to use applesauce, unsweetened applesauce. And so I'm just gonna drop this whole thing in here. It calls for a 1/2 cup of oil. I'm just gonna put this whole cup of, I'm not exactly sure how much it is. It might be a full cup, but we're just gonna use this little applesauce cup. All right. And then our chocolate chips. We need 1 cup of chocolate chips, and I'm using the dark chocolate chips. The dark chocolate morsels from Aldi. Make sure, yep, 1 cup. Let's get these out of the way. We're just gonna mix these up. These cookies will be kind of cakey, but I really like them. And I've made them lots of times. No fancy equipment needed. I wonder how many batches of cookies or biscuits my husband's grandma made in this bowl. Apparently my grandmother had one just like it. But I don't remember it. All right, now we're going to use a cookie scoop and put it on the pan, and I'm going to adjust you so that you can see down onto where I have it. Hopefully that's going to stay. All right, we're going to do this one here. This should make a couple of baker's dozen. Now I have lots of baking experience. I had a home baking business for several years, so I have made my share of cookies the usual way, where you cream the butter and the sugar. But I like this way. It's easier, quicker. It's a different result, but I'm more likely to do it because I don't have to get out as much stuff. It's just easier. So do whatever's easier. And if what's easier for you to have fresh homemade cookies would be to get the frozen dough, do that. Switch over to this pan. I've had these pans since I had my baking business. I used to have more. I had a big stack of them, these half sheet pans. And I sold off all but 4 of them when I stopped the business. That's a story for another video about the baking business. I learned a lot, and then I got burned out. No pun intended. All right, let's see how many we're gonna get this time. Well, we're gonna be pretty much right at a dozen here. Yeah. 2 dozen. All right. I am gonna make sure we don't waste any of this yumminess. We might be able to get one more cookie. Let's see. We might have to steal a chocolate chip or 2 from one of the other cookies. Make sure this one has what it needs. It's gonna help that one along. Let's see here. This one's got more than its fair share. And we'll grab one more. There we go. Now I am going to put these into the oven for, let me look real quick. Okay, so it says 10 to 12 minutes. What I'm going to do, since I don't have a convection oven, I did have a convection oven when I had the home baking business, and it was so nice. I could cook like 3 layers of cookies and they came out perfect every single time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put both of these trays into the oven, and then at the halfway point I'm going to switch them so that they get kind of the even top and bottom cooking. So I'm going to pop them in the oven and I'll see you when they're done. Okay, so the cookies are out of the oven and cooling. And remember how we had 1 extra? That's a baker's dozen, right? Who gets the extra? Yep. Time to test them out. Yummy and easy. And the chocolate is nice and melty right now. Of course, they'll be good later too. But these are super easy. I hope that you try them. I did want to note that I ended up cooking them a couple minutes longer, so it was a total of 14 minutes. Just to make sure they were totally done, and that seems like it was the right amount of time. So since I changed the recipe a little bit and I used the applesauce instead of the oil, that probably made a difference. But see how they are nice size and just so yummy. Okay, so make these and let me know how they come out, and I'll probably make some other cake mix cookies at another time of a different kind. Okay, so welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed that. I am putting this up on a Thursday because I often like to make a special dessert like cookies for Friday evenings. And so I thought maybe if I put this up on Thursday, then maybe some people will want to get the stuff ready to make them on the next day for Friday. So I will link to the recipe in the description box. And just remember, you can make it like the recipe is, but you can also substitute in a cup of applesauce, the little cup of applesauce like I did, or just make it as is. Either way is good. And let's see, was there anything else I wanted to say about that? Nope. Okay, so let's get into our habits. All right, so let's do 3 deep breaths. Ready? Okay, good. Next, water. You got your water? I've got mine. Go get it if you don't have it. Pause the video. All right. Get it turned around to the side I like to drink out of. Here we go. I always seem to get to about a third left and I have to take a little breathing break. Okay. All right. So today, gratitude. What are you grateful for today? Today, I'm going to write that I am grateful for, I'm trying to look at the camera here, that I am grateful for fresh cookies. All right, fresh cookies. All right, so that's my 2 cents. What's yours? Leave them in the comments below. Like it, subscribe it if you want to join me on this journey. Today was day 4 of 100 days of posting. And I am going to leave you with a quote that is by me that I used to say all the time because of my baking business. Never underestimate the power of a baked good. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.